Recording also, Dipti ji.
Ji, thank you. 1 minute, let me see if it's there. Start. Hari Om, everyone. Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Loka-Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya-kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, Hari Om, and welcome everyone. I hope there's been no miscommunication, but for what? There is this. So we are continuing with chapter 4.
Recording also, Dipti ji.
Okay, thank you. It's recording. Let me see if it's there. What's happening? Okay. This is so much of fun. Okay, you can see the screen? Yeah, you can see the screen, right? All right. But you can listen. There's an echo. Sadashiva-samarambham
Oh my God. It's repeating. It repeated my also, that recording.
Asmadacharya-paryantam. Where is it playing from? Vande Guru-paramparam. I don't know where it's playing from. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्
It's gone to YouTube, Dipti ji. It's
Now?
showing on my thing YouTube. That's why it's repeating.
Is it?
But now it has stopped. Okay, now we are back to Zoom.
Okay. But I don't know if they can now see. Okay, can you hear on YouTube? If you can, please say so, because I have closed the window here where it was showing. So now I do not know if you can hear, if it's live. Just let me know by typing something, someone. Looks like it's live. Okay, fine. Can you hear? Okay, great, fine. Thank you. Yes. So we are on the portion of 4th chapter, and we are seeing verse 20. From 19th verse onwards, Krishna has started showing the glorifying the one who has the Samyak Darshan. What is Samyak Darshan? Samyak Darshan means Atma Darshan, Atma Gyan. And what is that? Samyak means complete, whole, full, without any break or confusion, complete. So what was that Samyak Gyan? He said in the 18th verse, the one who can see Atma in Anatma, and Anatma where the whole expression is nothing but Atma, and that Anatma, which is a sense of non-doing, that is only possible in Atma, not in Jiva Bhav, when one has a sense of individuality. It's not possible then. So he said, now glorifying this vision, stuyate. Bhagwan Shankara had given us the sambandh here, and he had said, akarm adi darshanam stuyate. He is giving the stuti of glorifying this knowledge. Most of us would ask, what is the need to glorify this knowledge? Why are we glorifying this knowledge? We glorify this knowledge, Shastra says here, because the student, the jignasu, a mumukshu, desires to know what is the end as in the culmination of my seeking. So, what would be, if I pursue this Atma Vidya, what is the culmination? And culmination means, is there a point where my seeking concludes, ends? Is there a place where I will say, now I need no more, I want no more, I'm not searching for anything anymore. Is there an existence that I can be with in a manner where I am unruffled, unhustled, I am at peace with myself, I am at peace with the world, I am at I'm a joyful, peaceful, present being. Is that possible? To say that yes, that is possible are these verses. So by glorifying the knowledge, they are glorifying the person who has attained that culmination of the search, which I am in the present searching. And I take recourse in, I take refuge in this knowledge with a Jiva Bhav initially, hoping that this is going to take me to my culmination. It'll bring me to that end point. So I'm ready to pursue this. I'm ready to do whatever it requires. But how will I know that it takes me there, where my culmination will end? So they are glorifying that person who, through this path that I am a seeker of today, has attained it. And all my questions today regarding my existence, then when I have Samyak Gyan, when I have no more searching left, is that a state? Yes, it's possible. How do I live then? That's the portion that shows here in a mild form, in a minimum way, but profound, of course, but deep in itself, of course, to say that that person who has gained that, phal kya hai? How do I know that the culmination has ended? Because there is no more doing for them. They are free of any doing. If we look at the contrast with ourselves, we need to keep doing, either by compulsion, by force, or habitually, or forcefully, whatever be the reasons. But the fact that I have a sense of incompleteness, even when I say that I'm seeking my completeness, even in that pursuit, there is this, I need to do something. I need to be engaged in something. That doing sense, such a person is freed of. First point. What is a fundamental bottom line first point? A person who has Samyak Gyan, which means Atma Gyan, a person who can see, distinguish, discriminate, separate out this tadatmya based vritti, thoughts that we entertain of aham and mama. They are able to separate that out and place them into their respective adhishthan, sthan, where they belong. So if my thought is I'm tall, a person who has the knowledge, has done the discrimination, means has done the discernment, has employed their Viveka Shakti, and such a person can clearly see. What are they able to see? They are able to see that I am tall. The adhishthan of that, the sthan of that thought. What is the tathya of that thought? What is the base of that thought? What is the prayojan of that thought? What is the reality of that thought? Where is it centered? And one realizes, I am tall. That tallness is what is sthan uska sharir hai. Tallness is a quality, attribute of the body. So one who has samyak gyan means they've done this exercise, call it exercise, viveka shakti, call it nididhyasan, call it mananam, call it sadhana of discernment, call it any term. But they have placed the I on Atma and tallness on the body. So when the body with age shrinks, shrivels, the body is shriveling, but their focus, their attention, their recognition, our words will be very limited when we try and understand the position of Samyak Gyan, the stand of absolute. Our language will hold a lot of limitation. Why? Because it is a stand which is an experience. Speaking that infinite experience from a standpoint of a finite conclusion is virtually impossible. So we can only stretch words with an idea that whoever is gaining Chitta Shuddhi on a Chitta Shuddh Manaha, it's like when you throw ideas, when Shastra gives us words, where they go and point, where they go and hit, where they go and communicate, that a Chitta Shuddh Manaha is able to extend and understand in completeness. So by glorifying, the point is very simple. Glorification of that Samyak Gyan and the person who is following it, uska kya uplabdhi hua, usko kya mila, what does he gain over there, what has he got? When I identify it with my seeking and I say, okay, that's what it is, and what is it, clearly differentiates here. He says he becomes freed of all karmas. That's what I want, isn't it? I want to be freed of this strain and struggle and this hustle and the bustle. And I'm not going to use too many words, not want to waste time, but we've understood the Jiva Bhav and all the vikar that this Jivatvam brings to us in all forms of thoughts. We want freedom from that. This person, he's freed of, that's the conclusion of these verses. I'm repeating because when we go into the text, we'll be going into details. You may miss out the Tatparyam. What is the Tatparyam? I'm repeating. Tatparyam means essence. What is that Tatparyam and essence that you're picking up? By giving the stuti of such a person and saying that one who has Samyak Gyan, who's able to see Atma Drishti, holds the Atma Drishti even when actions get done, and is able to see that any action withheld, what can be done, is only at the level of ahankar, egocentric, karta bhav. That samyak darshi is freed of all action. सब कर्मों से मुक्त हो गया, और जब कर्मों से मुक्त हो गया मीन्स कर्म फल से मुक्त हो गया, means he's freed of all karma phala. And if he's freed of karma phala and karma, then naturally the one who's still in a limited view, all of us, our question will be, does he still do karma? Is he still capable of karma? Because we do karma when we identify with the body, we identify with our desires, then we have the sense of doing. Is he still doing? Can he do? Will he do? And this is the nuance of Brahma Vidya, which is absolute glory of this Shastra, which Krishna puts it here in these verses, that such a person may continue to do karma, can continue to do karma, need not do karma, is free of it. Even if they continue to do karma, they are not bound by it. That means they can continue to do karma or need not do karma. That free state of their being is unaffected by what is done or not. That's, he said, why? He says their karma in entirety has become freed of desires and Sankalp. How has he become free, or why is he free of desire and sankalp? Because jnana eva agni. That knowledge itself is the fire. It is not by the fire of knowledge. That knowledge is the fire. आत्मा ज्ञान ही वो अग्नि है. In that fire, what has got burnt? All karmas have got burnt because Atma is akarta and he abides in it. That one whose all undertakings are freed of any sense of limited notion has freed himself. He is able to do that action free of kam and sankalp because of his knowledge, abiding in that knowledge. Such a person is called Panditaha. Natu, not one who is Brahmita. Brahmit hai. Brahmit kaun hai? If you are getting the spirit of the 18th verse, who's Brahmit? Brahmit means confused. Who's deluded? What would be the opposite? Who's deluded? Who's got samyak gyan? The one who's able to see?
Who's the jnani, who's understood action and inaction.
Correct. So who's Brahmit? Confused?
Who's still attached with his body and does actions from that thought.
Exactly. So Brahmit कौन है? जो ये सोचता है कि मेरे कर्म ना करने से मुझे मुक्ति मिल जाएगी. उसको आत्मज्ञान नहीं है. He is not a Pandit. So Pandit is clearly called here by the knowledgeable people, by the wise people. Yes, the one who has Atmagyan. Then we saw here, I think we finished the Bhashyam last time, means all his karma, Shubh, Ashubh, because from the standpoint of Atmagyan, Punya and Pap, both are bondages. Karm phal hai, bhogoge, even Punya is a bondage. He is freed. Everything, what is burnt cannot be growing again. There is no power left to grow. Now, before the 20th verse, because he says he's freed of all karmas, he says, then such a person, as I said, does he do karma? That independence of karma, capacity to do karma, without karma becoming the means of your bondage. I'm repeating this because it's a very important distinction, which can increase our mumukshatva, increase our inspiration. The fact that I can do karma and that karma should not bind me. I can do karma, I need not do karma. Not doing karma should not bind me. Doing karma should not bind me. That should be our inspiration, motivation. And that he says, such a person is like that. And who is he? Yahatu. Who has this? What? Karmadau akarma adi darshi. He's the knower. He's darshi of what was said in the 18th verse. Saha, such a person. Akarma adi darshanat. Because of that knowledge. Akarma adi means karam mein akaram, akaram mein karam. देखने के कारण, that is the reason. Akarmadi darshanat. Because of that knowledge, eva, only, because of that knowledge only, such a person is a nishkarminam. He's got a nish. He's got a status of becoming nishkarmi. He's become nishkarmi. Nishkarmi means free of karma. Nishkarma is one of our sadhana. What sadhana is that? Nishkarma is a sadhana. Another word for that is? Another word for that is? Nishkaram. What is another word for that? Nishkaram. Nishkaram karo. Hint.
Akaram?
Nishkaram karo.
No.
Naishkarmyam. Nishkaram karo. Naishkarmyam is the sthiti. Nishkaram. Sorry. Karma yoga. Nishkaram is karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Nishkarma bhav is karma yoga, no? Nishkama. Okay, I should have said nishkama. Nishkam, you would have probably got it quicker. Nishkam is nishkarma. No? Because he's referring to the person here, he said nishkarma. He's become free of karma. How has he become free of karma? Because he's nishkami. The previous verse. Kama sankalpa rahitaha. He's nishkarma, he's a nishkami. Who is he? He's a sannyasi. Means sannyasi. Samyak. Nitaram. Shipyate. Shipyate means phek dena. Chhod dena. Samyak means completely. Nitaram, whatever you can think of. The one who can throw away, discard, renounce, give up. Whatever one holds. What are you holding? Start the list. It would be a beautiful exercise to do sometimes. What are we holding? Objects, people, memories, a lot of things. Okay? Broad category. Objects, people, memory. We hold on to this. सम्यक क्षिप्यते, छोड़ देते हैं पूरी तरीके से. जो छोड़ सकता है, to the extent we are able to leave them, to that an extent we are a sannyasi. To the extent we are holding, to that an extent we are a, to the extent, Hanji?
Sorry.
Samsari.
Samsari, correct. To that an extent we are a samsari. To the extent we are able to give up everything. He's given up everything. Such a sannyasi. Jivan matra artha cheshtaha san. Only for the sake of, karte hue. Keeps doing. Jivan matra artha cheshta. His cheshta is, his effort is only to the extent of Sharira Yatra. Jivan matra artha. For the means of continuity of this prarabdha karma that Bhagwan has endowed the person in manifestation with, उस शरीर के लिए जो कर्म करना है, उसकी स्थिति बनाते रखने के लिए, to maintain that sharir, whatever karma he does, only for that sake. Kevala, karte hue, san, karmani, continues to do karma for the sake of jivan matra. Na pravartate. Karmani na pravartate. He's still not doing, he's not engaged in any karma. So that is first sentence. What is it? Such a person with samyak gyan, even when they are doing, seen to be doing karmas, and if their karmas are only for the sake of sharira matra, that karma is not done. It's as good as no karma. Shastra allows them that karma because their own karta bhav is absent. Samyak darshan hai na? That I don't have to keep repeating. That's a background of this verse. Because of samyak, he said it already, akarma adi darshanat. Due to that knowledge, he has become nishkarmi, nishkami. And because he's a nishkarmi, nishkami, he is able to give up everything. He has no wants, no needs for his own sake. But for the sake of continuity of life, whatever little the karma they are seen to be doing, in modern times, it's a little bit of teaching, it's a little bit of service, it's a little bit of whatever, just to keep the life continuing. That na pravartate. That karma is not binding them. Yadyapi, even though prak vivekataha, pehle, prak means before they became jnani, vivekataha means they are now got jnanam. Before they became jnani, pravrittaha, they were engaged in action. They were doing karmas before they became jnani. Once they have got jnanam, yahatu prarabdha karma san uttar kalam utpanna atma samyak darshanaha syat. Yahatu, who? That person, prarabdha karma san, maintaining his prarabdha karma, uttar kalam, after the knowledge, once he's gained the knowledge, utpanna atma samyak darshan syat. Now they have got samyak darshan. Saha, such a person, sarva karmani prayojanam apashyan. Such a person sees no prayojan, apashyan, nahi dikta, sees no benefit, no use of what? Of any karma, sarva karmani. They see no benefit of any karma. So, because they are seeing no use of any karma, sa sadhanam karma parityajati eva. They are able to give up all karmas along with their means. Sa sadhana means the means that we employ to fulfill our karmas. Parityajati, they are able to give up. For all of us, we understand, I'm showing the opposite, the contrast. For any desire fulfillment, what do we need? Like I constantly say, if I have to have a comfortable life as an adult, if I'm going to have a family and a comfortable life, I need to earn money. That means I need to have education. That means I must plan my career. I must decide where, what, all. There are a lot of years that go away acquiring the sadhan, the means for accomplishing some fruition at a later period of time. So sa sadhan means collecting the means to fulfill our desires, to fulfill even our needs. So we engage in those means so that we pursue them. A jnani, samyak darshi, he sees no prayojan in any karma. Why? Because the prapti of a karma phal that they are going to get, that is already seen as anatma. It's incomplete. It's transient. It's temporary. It's not real. Means it's not going to abide forever. It's not their state. So once there is this futility seen of any phal, the desire to do karma drops away. As I said, if you've gone, say, for a lunch party today, or you've gone met some friends and your stomach is full, you've overeaten, enjoyed the company, overeaten, you've come back home, will there be a thought to start cooking if you are a cook, or tell someone to cook something for you? When does that thought arise? When you are hungry. The minute you become hungry, the pursuit starts. And however many times you've done it in your life so far, I find this a very interesting reflection. I relax in it sometimes. All my life, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day. Yet, the next time I'm hungry, my energy and my enthusiasm to eat will not be any less. It's not diminished. I'm still eager and I'm still enthusiastic and I'm still looking forward to what should I eat because I'm hungry. Fascinating. All your life, every few hours you have eaten. And yet your mind hasn't felt the satiation that, oh, I have taken, it's okay, take it easy. No, there is eagerness again for its fulfillment. This is body, it's just an example, but the same thing happens with any desire. All our desires, the minute we reach the empty bank, that desire again springs up and it again pushes us into its pursuit with the same enthusiasm and vigor, as if it was new again. It has no memory of its past, of how many times it's already been fulfilled, having got fulfilled or not fulfilled. The minute the mind pitches up something that it sees hope in, it latches it, and then that is called acquiring sadhan. One who has samyak darshi, what is their characteristic? What is their lakshan? They're able to give that, there's no need felt. It's like, best example I can only project to certain extent is when we have become adults and you have a grandchild, or if you're very young, you have a young child at home. Their need for the toy world and your need for the toy world, are they the same? Their need for the toy world is real. Your need for the toy world is, what is real for you? The
child's need is real.
Absolutely, very good. The child's need is the toy world. But what is your toy? Your toy is the child's need. So you are able to engage in that toy world without the toy world disturbing you, without the toy world affecting you. But the minute the child gets affected by the toy world, if it was playing with the toy and the toy broke, and the child now gets ruffled, the child starts crying. Now what has happened to you? You start getting ruffled also. You are now disturbed because your toy world has also got shaken up. Now, he says that attachment as in not emotional, I mean it as a sangha. That's how Shastra says, tadatmyam, that we said in the last class. That tadatmyam that we hold with reference to objects and people and things, we look upon them, all of that, as a sadhan for our happiness. They're all means for my happiness. If my child is not looked upon as a means for my happiness, you will not have a child. You will not think about a child. Why? Because you're not looking at the child as the source of your happiness. There is no prayojan felt. There are so many people who get into this Vedantic study very early in life. Like Ramana, left home very early, did not complete education. Why? I was told by one of my friends, they said for many years they were surprised. How could she leave a profession? She's my professional friend, means we were in profession together. And she says, for many years I have wondered. I don't think I had the courage to leave that and pursue something unknown. And I'm like, oh, to me it's opposite. Not to have done that, the same fear that you have is the fear I would have had if I didn't have this opportunity at all. What is it that is holding us? हमारा साधन क्या है कि हम किस में अपना आनंद देख रहे हैं? अगर मुझे उसी में आनंद दिखता है, there is no way I would have thought of ever. I to forget it. These so many people. Ramana, why did he leave it? That's my best source of inspiration. He could leave education. How many of us can? Samyak, and that's when he was ready. Now that's my point that Shastra is going to tell us. I don't want to miss that. So I'm highlighting it here. When Shastra says such a person is freed of karma, even at that stage, when Ramana left his home, his schooling, there was no holding the world. Samyak tyaktva. At that time, it's not that he is a jnani. He did that to engage himself in sadhana for completion of his Atmagyan. Even he, then at that stage, that's what Krishna is telling us. At that stage, when he decided to give up everything and take to that, he's become freed of all karma. Means, sadhanam, he is given it a parityajati. There is no means that is holding them. Where is the next food going to come from? There, to us, even our health insurance is so important. You need to have it, because if you don't have it, what will happen? It's such a, what is it? The medical costs are so high. This is so high. Everything is so, I have to plan my future. Now, shows us where we get entangled. What is the difference between such people and us? The only difference is Atma Jnana Nishtha. In that means knowing that Atma is free of all this anyway. And they take that as a sadhana, constant, till they are established in it. It's not easy. Yes, but it is choiceless for happiness. That's your state. That's our state. That is the happy state. Searching for happiness is not a happy state. It never brings us happiness. Looking for happiness is not giving us happiness. That's not a happy state. Happy state is, yes, whatever tapas or sadhana needs to be done to discover that I am ever free and happy. There is a tapas there, because that giving up that we've been holding on is the effort. Whoever has completed that effort, uska prayojan pura ho gaya. They are able to very easily see apashan. Prayojan nahi hai kisi karam ka. That should be the highlight of the sentence. They have no prayojan left to do anything, because all are doing has a prayojan in gaining something. But they have gained what is already a gained vastu. Prapt hai. Atma is already prapt. To gain that, all that was to be done was what they have falsely acquired, they gave it up. And by giving that false acquisitions that we all have of our body and mind and thoughts that we have luggage of, which is preventing the clear darshan of Atma, as is, the Vivek Shakti does not operate. It remains subdued under all these overwhelming emotions. Such a one, he says, parityajati. He gives up all karmas because reason is he sees no prayojan in them. Therefore, karma along with their sadhan, he gives up completely. Do not ever forget why he gives them up. Akarma adi darshanat eva nishkarma. He's become a nishkarmi because of आत्मज्ञान. वो उसने पुरुषार्थ किया है. His purusharth is for moksha. Our purusharth is for
temporary happiness.
Yes. And what are the other purusharths other than moksha? Artha, kama, dharma. Those are the purusharths. Artha, kama, and dharma. So our purusharth is for that. So he says, this person, saha, kutaschit, karma parityaga asambhave sati. Now first he's already said that he gives it up. He's a nivritta jnani. He sees no prayojan and he now has given up all karmas. Only sharir matra, whatever is needed, he remains engaged in. Otherwise, he remains in his atma sthiti, established. Saha, someone, the other person, some other jnani, kutaschit, for some reason, karma parityaga asambhave sati. For some reason, they are not able to do karma ka tyag. Karmani tat phalecha sangarahitataya. They do engage in karma, but in those karmas and the phal, by being sangarahita, by not identifying, attaching themselves to karma or the karma phal, swaprayojana abhavat, having no prayojan for their own sake. They have no prayojan for their own self. Swaprayojana abhavat. They have no prayojan for their own self. Then what? They, for some reason, they were not able to give up karmas, but they do not identify with karma or their phal, have no personal prayojan, but loka sangrahartham purvavat karmani pravrittaha api. Whatever karmas they were doing before, they continue to do that for loka sangraha. So if for whatever reason, some person after gaining gyan also is not able to give up karmas like King Janaka, after gaining jnanam, he could not give up his kingdom. Such a person, even if they are doing karmas, but because they have no prayojan for themselves and they remain karmani tat phalecha sangarahitataya, by being sangarahit. Which sangarahit? Karma sangrahit, phala sangrahit, swaprayojana abhavat, loka sangrahartham, पूर्ववत कर्मणि, पूर्ववत पहले जो कर्म थे, pravrittaha, they were engaged in. So if you were a scientist, you may continue to being a scientist. If you were a grahastha, you may continue to being a grahastha. If you were a prime minister, you'll continue to being a prime minister. Whatever, for some reason you are You cannot, by either your family obligations or for whatever reason that you think are the Jnani feels he'll continue doing. But such a Jnani, Pravritta Jnani, also, he is Naiva Kinchit Karoti. ऐसे कर्म करता हुआ कोई कर्म नहीं कर रहा. They almost seem contradictory statements. The one who does such karmas in such a manner is also not doing karma. कर्म करते हुए भी नहीं कर रहा. Why? ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्मत्वात्. Because of his fire, knowledge fire. Tadiyam karma akarma eva sampadhyate iti. For him also, karma akarma iti etam artham darshayishyam aha. For such a one, pravritta jnani also. Before jnanam, I'm repeating in case it's not clear, there are two kinds mentioned. One who after jnanam has given up karma. Other who after jnanam continues to doing what they were doing before. Both of them remain freed of karma and karma phala. Why? Because asanga rahita. And that asanga rahita is practice for us, which is karma yoga. Phal se tyagna is our starting point of karma yoga. The culmination is preparation and then Atma Vidya. Once one is established there, now you may or may not do karmas. You are freed of it. Yes, absolutely. Yes, right, Bhavna. Correct. Okay, so now he says in the 21st verse. What is that? Yeah, there's nothing in there. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayaha karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Tyaktva karma phala asangam. Tyaktva. Very beautiful word. Tyaktva. The suffix attached. Tva. Tyag kar. Having given up, abandoned. What have they given up? Karma sanga and phala sanga. Having given those two up, nitya triptaha, ever content, full. Tript means full. Exactly as we say, when our stomach is full, what do we say? Tripti bhaya. Means ab mujhe aur khane ko kuch bhi mat kehna. I am full. I'm enjoying. I'm full. I want nothing more. We say that, no? And now I want nothing more. Till I'm hungry again. So, this Nitya Tripta means always content. Nirashrayaha, without taking any ashray. Ashray means support. Without making anything a means, a sadhan. Looking at nothing as a means and sadhan. किसी पे आश्रय नहीं है, किसी वस्तु पे नहीं, किसी पे नहीं. No one is looked upon, nothing is looked upon as a means of their happiness. Then what? Such people, karmani abhipravrittah api. Abhipravrittah means constantly doing, engaged in. In what? Karmas. Karmani, कर्मों में. कर्मों में अभिप्रवृत्त रहते हुए भी, remaining engaged in karmas, api also, na eva, kinchit, 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 even little pinch of salt you add to your food to enhance the taste, that even that pinch of karma, na karoti saha, means externally they may look to be highly dynamic in action, बैठते नहीं हैं, करते रहते हैं, बहुत काम करते हैं, मगर कुछ काम नहीं करते. If anybody listens, that's why out of sampradaya, when people listen to these things, they say, what are these such contradictory terms? करते हुए भी कुछ नहीं करते. It's like the President of India. By their mere presence, all work gets done. Everyone's active. And here in their case, they are also active. Why? Because samyak gyan drishti, but pravrittah, that's the point. Atma gyan hone ke baad, even if someone continues to be engaged in karma, that karma does not bind them. बांधता नहीं है. And that is the opening for us. कि हमें क्या बांधता है? Means कर्म तो नहीं बांधता. कर्म तो वो भी कर रहा है. They are also engaged in karma. But to them it is said, karmas don't bind them. When we do not do karma also, they are saying it will bind you. Do you get the point? Akaram mein karam. When we don't do karma also, they say that not doing your karma will also bind you. And to them they are saying, even when they do karma, it will not bind them. What is state of freedom? My not doing will bind me. Their doing will also not bind them. So what is the cause of bondage? What is bondage? What is binding us? Whoever reflects on this, material-wise is enough that's already been given to us in the Gita. If we reflect on it, we identify what binds us. In avidya, our desire-ridden state, our kartritva bhav, with which we are doing the karma for a certain bhog, that is the cause of bondage. What have they done? They have been able to burn that because it is a false belief. Kartritvam is not real. Bhoktritvam is not real. It is apparent. It is abhas. It is only incidentally felt as real. But it is not real. The rope is real. But the incidentally felt snake is not real. And if the snake is not real, even when it looks real to me, those to whom it looked real decided to explore the snake notion. Parallel of that will be decided to explore the kartritva notion, the bhoktritva notion, the I am not happy notion, I want more notion, I lack this notion, if I get this, I will be more notion. All those thoughts that creep in us all the time. That person explored it, said, let me inquire, let me see this snake notion. And when they started examining the snake notion, they started inquiring the snake notion, they started seeing what is there. What did they discover? Snake is not there. The whole notion is disappeared because the snake is not there. So the snake notion disappeared. When did the snake notion disappear? Not by karma and tantra. The snake notion disappeared when they inquired the snake notion. That inquiry brought them to the point that the snake is not there. What did they inquire? Snake notion. Pursuing the snake notion, they went on pursuing it. Is it real? Is it real? What is there? Why is kartritvam really needed in a karma? Is kartritva bhav necessary in karma? Can karma be done without kartritva bhav? How much of a kartritva bhav is necessary for karma? What is necessary for karma? What should be my prayojan or purpose to do karma? What should my karma be centered on? What should karma bring to me? Why should I do karma? I'm just setting few examples. This is the inquiry. Any one question that we can hold on to us and start that inquiry process. Some people were able to do it. Who has done it? Realized that it is not there. And they teach us. For you also it is not there. And if you want freedom from all this, you will also have to inquire. Because karma and phal, when they go together as two sides of a coin, both of them are only perpetuating your karmic cycle, your samsaric cycle. They will ever leave you unfulfilled. It's just like filling my stomach, empty again in a few hours. Again, fill my stomach, again with the same enthusiasm and force and gust. It's fascinating, really. थकते ही नहीं हम खाना खा के. We just don't get bored of it. Every time we are hungry, and it's fascinating. It's not that fact that I don't get bored of the same thing is indicative that when I feel that vacuum, I'm ready to engage in action again. It's absolutely parallel. There's no difference. So he says, such a person, the pravritta jnani, jo karam karte, like Janaka, etc. And definitely, if anybody who pursues this, whoever will remain, if you remain doing karma, that karma doesn't bind, is what they are saying. So, he says, is that okay? Any question here before we move on?
So when you made statements of so many study, why is it necessary to do karma with this kartitva bhav and all that? So is it okay to say then to start off with, you just do your duty?
Yes. Stick to Karam Yoga. The starting point is Karam Yoga. Do your duty, Karam Yoga. That's it. So as much as we are able to bring it closer to making Karam Yoga Nishtha in the beginning, that's a starting point. Karam Yoga Nishtha ban jaye hamari. What do we mean by Nishtha? I establish myself as a Karam Yogi. Once I've established myself as a Karam Yogi, it's a spiral. It opens the doors keep opening. Otherwise, Atma Gyan remains Vritti Gyan. I know, but I don't know. What's preventing?
The bondages.
The bondage is preconceived that I'm a body, I want something, that habitual performance that we have as a jiva.
Right, right.
It keeps us tight. So
As
first,
you said, so we're always looking forward to the next meal as we're making
exactly.
light of the situation.
Yes. Constantly is wanting for it, sticking to it, right? Yeah. So move on to the Bhashyam. Similar thing. Important thing was just is this. I'm repeating it again and again in the class because the pursuit of Atma Vidya, whether a grahast does or a sannyasi does, or you do it before, you do it after karmas, the protocol or the prakriya is simple. As a jiva, avidya is the cause of me identifying with my body, calling myself as an individual. That avidya brings about a sense of kuch kami, khalipan. But that's my starting point of all desires forming. And once desires are there, I choose few संकल्प बनते हैं. कभी संकल्प बनता है उससे desire बनती है. Then I put it into action. I gather mean, and that's how the cycle of karma perpetuates. Waiting in anticipation for fruits, always measuring whether I'm getting a fruit as I wanted or not. And if I'm always measuring, I'm also assessing, should I do something else? Then I get dejected if I didn't get what I wanted. I spent so many years, I spent so much of my resources thinking I will, but I turned out to be nothing. So many people who yearn to go abroad. Now I guess it's changed probably, but when we were out of our colleges, everyone's yearning to go abroad, to settle abroad, greener pastures, greener pastures. And after a few years, by the time you come to this age, you realize struggles were there also. You lose something, you gain something. Struggles are everywhere as a jiva. So, why did I come to this point? Because as a jiva, there will be no tripti. Mind will never say, I've had enough. And I keep remaining myself in pursuit of this. I assess, if not this, let me do this. If not this, let me do this, etc. So that keeps us engaged. Okay. We'll move ahead. So, tyaktva. As I said, Shankaracharya gives us the word meaning, so it becomes very easy to understand the moolam, the verse itself, the shlok, what it's saying. Tyaktva, what does the word tyaktva in the verse mean? He says, tyaktva, kisko chodna hai mujhe? If someone asks, chhod diya, kya choda? Shankaracharya doesn't want us to be confused or ambiguous. He spells it out so that हम बाद में इस lesson के बाद हम ये ना कहें जी हमें पता नहीं हमें क्या छोड़ना था. So after years of study, I'm wondering मुझे छोड़ना क्या था? No, Shankara says I'll take no such chance. He's a perfect teacher. So what does he say? What do you have to leave? Karma so means inactions. कर्मों में क्या छोड़ना है? अभिमान. So easy. See, कर्तृत्व भाव में भी difficult to understand. कर्मों में अभिमान छोड़ना है. Is it difficult to understand? Is it practicable?
Definitely.
है ना? कर्मों में अभिमान हमें दिखता है. क्योंकि हमें दिखता है छूट सकता है. जिसको दिखता ही नहीं है वो कौन सी स्थिति में है?
Is the mood.
Correct. And if you were to describe it further, जिसको दिखता ही नहीं है, he is a mood है. describe it a little more in the context of the verses we are doing?
Samsari, Ajnani.
Right. अकर्म में कर्म नहीं देख रहा, वो अकर्म को मुक्त समझ रहा है. That's the mudhata. That's the specific mudhata he holds. उसको अभिमान ही नहीं दिख रहा. Means वो कर्म भी नहीं करता और उसको अभिमान ही नहीं दिखता. So he is closed completely. कर्मसु अभिमानम त्यक्त्वा. Is that enough? He says, फल संगम च, फला संगम च. Your attachment to fruit also. Do we see it? फल की इच्छा क्या हमको दिखती है? हमें फल चाहिए क्या हमें दिखता है?
Yes, yes, that is like the starting point only.
Exactly. Agar someone says, no, I can't see why, I don't see how I'm attached to fruits, then he's an akarta, as in doesn't do anything or is deluded. Mood hai. Phala sangam. Two. Now, is it any different from Karam Yoga that he said in third chapter that we've studied in such details? This is Karam Yoga starting point. The establishment of it brings you to Jnanam. An establishment in Jnanam brings you to Moksha. And that is the sthiti where you become free of karma. But karmasu abhimanam phala sangam cha. ये तो अपने आप में full time exercise है. I would say Monday, watch out, karmasu abhimanam. Today's day practice is going to be कर्मों में अपना अभिमान देख के त्यक्त्वा. Start giving it up. Tuesday, phala sangam त्यक्त्वा. Wednesday, karma abhimanam tyaktva. Thursday, phala sangam tyaktva. Friday, karma abhimanam tyaktva. Saturday, phal sangam tyaktva. Sunday, karma and phala sangam tyaktva. Let's give both of them up. Try it. It's just a way of saying we need practice on it. Tyaktva, chhodkar. Without tyaktva, you can't take a step forward. We can spend, of course, shravanam is necessary, but for adhyatmik gati, if we say मेरे में adhyatmik gati पकड़ नहीं रही है, path is right, the knowledge is right, I want it, but gati पकड़ नहीं रही. क्यों नहीं पकड़ रही गति? First, checklist. It's like a checklist. Checklist. If I feel gati pakad nahi rahi, let me go back to basics. What are the basics? Monday, karmasu abhimanam tyaktva. Let me start from there. अपने आप गति पकड़ने लगेगी. The momentum will catch up of your inner growth. That's what he means. Then, yatha uktena jnanena. But how did he give up? We have brought it to ourselves as a karam yoga for practice. But with context is of a jnani. So he was able to completely give it up. We will only practice it, so we are not completely giving it up. It will come up like hunger. Every time it comes up, we have to again give it up. That practice is continued for a long time, for some time, as long as it's needed. That with Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, Yatha Uktena Jnanena, as said of the knowledge, by knowledge, not of, by knowledge, Nitya Triptaha, Nirakanksha, Vishayeshu iti artha. In any object, विषयों से अब उसे कोई तृप्ति नहीं मिलती. विषयों की पूर्ति या ना पूर्ति. Sense pleasures, not pleasure. Likes and dislikes, etc. Nirakanksha has no akanksha from objects. For what? For tripti. When there is no akanksha of tripti from objects, that avastha is nirakanksha. और वो अवस्था कब आती है? ज्ञान से। और ज्ञान कब निष्ठ होता है? जी,
श्रवणम मननम निधिध्यासन
और
से।
श्रवणम मननम निधिध्यासन कब पकता है?
जब हम अपने आप को रिमाइंड कराते हैं कर्म योग में जाने के लिए।
हाँ, सो कर्मयोग से स्टार्ट होता है। सेम थिंग टेक्स अस फॉरवर्ड। देन निराश्रयः, आश्रय रहितः। What ashray? Shankara gives us the name, which I explained before, but from here is where it comes. Ashrayah nama. What is called ashray? Yat ashritya purushartham sisadhayishyati. Sisadhayishyati means सिद्ध करने की आशा, a desire to fulfill. What? A purusharth. Means some sankalpa, some kamana. Depending on that, ashritya, depending on some means for fulfilling some purusharth, kam, artha, dharma, some desire, that ashray, that desire to fulfill, nirashraya, no ashray. Then drishta, adrishta, ishta phala sadhana ashray rahitaha iti artha. Means all drishta, adrishta, phal, all phal can be drishta, adrishta, and to gain that sadhana. Let me be clearer. We are doing karmas to gain some phal. Those phal are divided into drishta, adrishta. Drishta means within lifetime, manifests now. Adrishta means in future sometimes. Adrishta also refers to Daivam, with the help of Ishvara, when it gets manifested, means in the future, adrishta. Ishta means my desired fruits, what I want. When I am taking some means to fulfill certain desires, drishta, adrishta phal, वो आश्रय छोड़ दिया. Means no karma, no phal. Is that clear? Others also, is it clear?
Yes, Triptiji.
Okay. Vidusha, such a Gyan. This is important for the next verse. Such a Gyani, Vidusha, जो जानता है, क्रियमाणम कर्मा, as they are doing karma also, paramarthatah akarma eva. Paramarthically, such a one is, उस कर्म में कोई कर्म नहीं है, अकर्म एव. Such a one, विदुषा, ऐसे कर्म करते हुए भी, from paramarthic standpoint, that karma is null, is akarma. किसका? विदुषा, the ज्ञानी. Clear? तस्य निष्क्रिय आत्म दर्शन संपन्नत्वा. Because he's become nishkriya, because of the nishkriya atma. That knowledge is there. Atma doesn't do anything. Uska wo darshan hai. He sees that Atma doesn't do anything. Ramana sees that Atma is separate, distinct, untouched by this physical and mental and causal layers. Okay? Iti arthaha. Nishkriya Atma Arthaha. Explain Abhimanam one more time. Karma Abhimanam in a simple term in English would be I am the doer, I am doing. So when the emphasis of an action is on me, the doer, मैं कर रहा हूं, मैं कर रही हूं, the mental focus is on me doing. That's Abhiman. Karma ka Abhiman. Kartritva bhav. Is that clear? Is that okay? Tena evam bhutena swaprayojana abhavat sasadhanam karma parityaktavyam eva iti prapte. We've already explained it over there also. Tena, by that, in this manner, swaprayojana abhavat, they have no personal purpose. Sasadhanam karma parityaktavyam. They give up all karma and sadhan. Iti prapte tataha nirgama asambhavat. Thereafterwards, having gained the knowledge, nirgamaha means giving that karma becomes asambhav. For such a jnani, pravritta jnani, once he's a vidusha, he has nishkriya atma darshan, but for whatever reason, there is no opportunity to give up the karma that he is engaged in, then loka sangraha chikirshaya, by the very desire, they may continue to work with a desire to benefit people. Loka sangraha chikirshaya, इच्छा रखी for loka sangraha. उससे ही कर्म करते रहे. That's their motivation, that's their reason to do karma. That's all the reason is. There is no swaprayojan. They're not doing it for themselves. Or shishta vigarhana aparijihirshaya. That shishtachar means setting an example. That should not be flouted. That you represent, you set standard, you set an example for others to be inspired. Do not break that for others' sake. It could be that reason. It could be directly Loka Sangra, or it could be because Shishta Achara, like Krishna said, I am doing it as a Shishta Achar. Shishta Achar means superior conduct, means from the standpoint of a knowledge, I am continuing to do action to allow others to learn how to do action. That is Shishta Achara for a Jnani. He says it could be any reason. Some people just continue because we've heard it. Some teachers would say, my guru said it, so I am doing it. The complete surrender to the fact, guru said it, so I am continuing to do what I have to do. Whatever be the reason that you are continuing to be in karma. Purvavat karmani, abhipravrittaha abhi. Whatever karmas you were doing before, you continue even after knowledge. Nishkriya Atma Darshana Sampannatvat. But your Atma Darshan is, that Atma is Nishkriya, is steady, is firm. Atma is Nishkriya, that knowledge is complete in you. Then if you are doing actions, for whatever reason your prarabdha has brought to you, you may continue to act either for Lok Sangraha or for Shishtacharaha or as Guru Adeshaha or as just sheer family need, unsung, unheard, but you are untouched by it. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Such a person also doesn't do anything. So we saw two cases. quickly, I'll just, so that you're remembering. 19th verse, he said, Yasya sarve samarambhaha, whose all karmas are free of karma and sankalp. Because of the fire, which is knowledge, Atma Gyan, he is a Pandit. He is established in knowledge. Tyaktva, karma phala sangam. Having given up karma sangam and phala sangam, he remains nitya triptaha, has no akanksha of any fruit from any object. Nirashrayaha, has no dependency on any means, any sadhan for any gain. Karmani abhi pravrittaha abhi, even when he engages in action, naiva kinchit karoti saha, he doesn't do any karma. He's freed of it. It's a very big statement. Okay. Then 22nd verse we will do in the next class. I think this should be good enough. Clear? 18, 19, 20. All three verses clear?
Yes, Diptiji.
So next time we'll start with 21st verse. Okay. We'll conclude the class here. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam kshoparahitah Brahmana santa nirbhaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Our next Sunday, unlikely that I'll be able to take a class, only next Sunday. So next week may not be possible. Let's take it as not possible for now. But I am trying. If I'm able to, genuinely trying. If I'm able to, I'll send a message. But as of now, class is cancelled for next week. But I am trying genuinely to take the class. If it will be possible, I will send a message. No message means no class. Okay?
Sure, Diptiji. Dhanyavad.
See you
Till then,
next
we'll
week.
practice what you asked.
Monday, Tuesday,
Abhiman and
Wednesday,
Vande
Thursday,
Bhag.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday, both we have to give up.
Yes.
So then hopefully we'll be able to resume.
Well, as Ishwar wishes. Thank you so much, Diptiji.
Thank you, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Deepti.
Hari Om. Thank you.